Spiritual Awakening Secret. I Am. The Creator and the Shadow. Jung times Goddard. The Silence of the Mirror. Let us go back to where we left off. You turned off the screen. You put down the phone. You entered the silence. You sat in the dark for 5 minutes, alone with your own existence. What did you find there? Did you find peace, or did you find noise? Did you find God, or did you find a stranger staring back at you? Most people are terrified of that silence. They run from it. They fill it with music, with podcasts, with scrolling, with people. Because in that silence, the distraction dies. And when the distraction dies, the mirror is revealed. You think you are looking at the world right now. You think you are seeing me. You think you are seeing your room, your life, your problems. But I am here to tell you the most terrifying and liberating truth of your existence. You have never seen the world. You have never met another person. You have never experienced an external event. You have only ever met yourself. Everything you see, the beauty, the ugliness, the love, the betrayal, is a reflection. The reality you call life is a hall of mirrors, and you are standing in the center, projecting images onto the glass, and then crying because the images are frightening you. Who am I, you asked in the silence. You are the projector. But you have forgotten your nature. You have fallen asleep in the cinema of your own creation. You believe the movie is real. You believe the villains can hurt you. You believe the tragedies are permanent. So you fight the screen. You scream at the characters. You try to wipe the blood off the glass. But the glass doesn't change. The movie keeps playing because you haven't changed the film. Today, we are going to walk through the looking glass. We are going to merge the ancient wisdom of the mystic Neville Goddard with the deep psychology of Carl Jung. We are going to show you that the enemy you have been fighting your whole life is just your own shadow, and the hero you have been waiting for is your own I Am. You are not a victim of reality. You are the ancestor of it. But to claim your throne, you must first stop fighting the reflection. You must look into the mirror without flinching. Are you ready to see who is really looking back? Are you ready to meet the architect? Let us begin the disassembly of your illusion. Chapter 1. The Psychological Simulation. Let's start with the diagnosis. Why is your life the way it is? Why do you keep meeting the same kind of toxic partner? Why do you keep hitting the same financial ceiling? Why does it feel like the universe has a specific vendetta against you? The great psychologist Carl Jung spent his life studying the human soul, and he discovered a mechanism that explains everything. He called it projection. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." He also said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Read that again. You will call it fate. You think it is destiny that you were betrayed. You think it is bad luck that you lost the job. But Jung says, no, it is you. It is your unconscious mind projecting its content onto the screen of the world. This is the concept of the psychological simulation. You are living in a simulation, but not a computer simulation, a psychological one. Every person you meet is an actor hired by your subconscious. They are reading a script that you wrote in the dark recesses of your mind. Let's look at the shadow. The shadow is the part of you that you deny, the part you say, I am not. I am not angry. I am not selfish. I am not weak. You push these traits down into the basement. You lock the door. But energy cannot be destroyed, so where does the shadow go? It walks out the door and meets you on the street. You meet a boss who is angry and tyrannical. You hate him. You fight him. But why is he in your reality? Because he is acting out your repressed anger. He is showing you your own face. He is your shadow, materialized. You meet a lover who is emotionally unavailable. You cry. You ask, why me? But look deeper. Are you available to yourself, or do you abandon yourself every day? Your lover is simply reflecting your own self-abandonment. The world is you pushed out, Neville Goddard said. Both Jung and Neville saw the same truth from different mountains. Jung saw it as psychology, Neville saw it as mysticism. But the law is the same. The internal creates the external. This is hard to hear. The ego hates this. The ego wants to be the victim. The ego says, no, they hurt me. It's their fault. I am innocent. As long as you believe you are innocent of your reality, you are powerless to change it. If they caused it, then they have the power. You have to wait for them to change, and you will wait forever. But the moment you accept the radical responsibility, the moment you say, I hired this actor, I wrote this script, you take the power back. You realize that the monsters outside are just the children inside that you abandoned. The world is not solid, it is not fixed, it is a fluid, responsive feedback loop. It is constantly rearranging itself to match your dominant assumption of who you are. If you assume you are unworthy, the world will eagerly rearrange itself to prove you right. Doors will close, phones will stop ringing, money will disappear. Not because the world is cruel, but because the world is obedient. The world is a faithful servant to your identity. So look around you right now. Look at your room. Look at your bank account. Look at your relationships. Do not judge them, just observe them. They are data. They are telling you exactly who you have been being. They are the printout of your unconscious program. If you don't like the printout, it is useless to write on the paper with a pen. You must change the software in the computer. But before we change the software, we must understand why your previous attempts to change have failed. We must understand the futility of fighting the mirror.
Chapter 2: Fighting the Mirror. This is where the chosen one gets exhausted. I know you are tired. I know you have been fighting battles for years. You have been trying to fix your life. You have been trying to fix people. You have been trying to hustle for money. You have been trying to force doors open, and it feels like you are pushing a boulder up a hill. Sisyphus. Why is it so hard? Because you are fighting the mirror. Imagine you wake up in the morning and look in the bathroom mirror. You see that your hair is messy. Do you reach out and try to comb the hair of the reflection in the glass? Do you scream at the mirror, comb yourself? Do you try to break the mirror to fix the hair? No, that would be insanity. You know that the reflection has no life of its own. It moves only when you move. To fix the hair in the mirror, you must comb your own hair. And yet, In life, we do the insane thing every day. We see a lack of money, reflection, so we work harder, we beg, we stress, we chase, scrubbing the glass. We see a lack of love, reflection, so we manipulate, we people please, we demand attention, screaming at the glass. We are trying to change the 3D world, the mirror, without changing the 4D consciousness, the face. This is the 3D trap. The Matrix wants you to believe that the 3D world is real and solid and cause. But the 3D world is not cause, it is effect. It is the smoke, not the fire. It is the shadow, not the object. You cannot change the world by changing the world. You can only change the world by changing yourself. When you fight the external reality, you are feeding it energy. Remember video 28? Attention is energy. When you fight your debt, you are focusing on debt. You are feeding the debt egregore. When you fight your loneliness, you are validating the reality of loneliness. You are keeping the reflection alive by your very resistance to it. What you resist persists. Carl Jung. Why? Because resistance is a form of focus, and focus is the glue that holds reality together. This is why willpower often fails. Willpower is the ego trying to force the mirror to change. I will make this happen. It works for a short time, but it is exhausting, and eventually the rubber band snaps back. Because deep down, your identity hasn't changed. You are still a person who believes they are poor, trying to act rich. The mirror knows the truth. The mirror never lies. You must stop the war. Put down your weapons. Put down your strategies. Put down your to-do list for a moment. You cannot manipulate the reflection. You must leave the mirror alone. You must turn your back on the senses. Neville Goddard called this denying the evidence of the senses. It sounds crazy to the logical mind. Ignore my empty bank account? Are you mad? But it is the only way to sanity. If the bank account is a reflection of your past consciousness, then staring at it will only create more of the same future. To create a new future, you must look away from the current reflection. You must look inward. You must find the projector. There is a machine inside you that is generating this entire simulation. It is running 24/7. It never sleeps. It is weaving your thoughts, your beliefs, and your I am statements into physical matter. Most people let this machine run on autopilot. They play the victim tape over and over. But you are awakening. You are about to learn how to step into the projection booth. You are about to learn how to change the film. And the name of the film is I Am. In the next part, we will introduce you to the technology of the projector. We will decode the mystic secret of the name of God, and we will show you how to use 2 words to rewrite your DNA and restructure the atoms of your world. Are you ready to stop scrubbing the mirror? Are you ready to take your hands off the external problem and put them on the internal solution? If you are ready to take responsibility for your creation, declare it now. Write in the comments, I am the projector. Let the universe know that you are done fighting shadows. We are going to the source.
Chapter 3. The I Am Frequency. We have established that the world is a mirror. We have established that fighting the reflection is madness. So where is the object that is casting the reflection? Where is the face? It is not your physical face. Your physical body is also part of the reflection. The true face is your consciousness. And in the ancient mystery schools and in the teachings of the great mystic Neville Goddard, this consciousness has a name. Its name is I am. You say these two words hundreds of times a day. I am tired. I am hungry. I am broke. I am lonely. You think you are just describing your reality, but you are not describing it. You are creating it. I am is not just grammar. It is a frequency. It is the command code of the universe. In the Bible, when Moses asks God for his name, God does not say Jehovah or Yahweh. God says, I am that I am. Neville Goddard decoded this for us. He realized that God was not a man in the sky. God is the pure awareness of being within you. The I am in you is God. It is the projector. It is the creative power. Think of I am as a magnetic hook. Whatever word you attach to I am, you attach to your destiny. When you say, I am weak, you are instructing the projector to find every scene of weakness in the archives of infinity and play it on the screen of your life. The projector is non-judgmental. It does not care if the movie is a tragedy or a comedy. It simply obeys the slide you put into the machine. If you put in the slide, I am a victim, the projector says, yes, master, and it projects betrayals, accidents, and pain. If you put in the slide, I am powerful, the projector says, yes, master, and it projects opportunities, strength, and victory. Most people are unconscious projectors. They let the world tell them who they are. Someone insults them, and they accept the slide, I am unworthy. The news scares them, and they accept the slide, I am unsafe. They are using the power of God to create their own hell. But the chosen one, the one who is awakening, takes control of the machine. You realize that I am is the unconditioned reality. Before you are a man or a woman, you are. Before you are rich or poor, you are. Before you are happy or sad, you are. That pure isness, that pure awareness is the clay, and your imagination is the potter. This brings us to the most dangerous and powerful truth you will ever learn. You are not the person you see in the mirror. That person is just the current state of your I am. It is just the costume you are wearing today. But you can change the costume. You can strip naked back to the raw I am and put on a new robe. But why is it so hard? Why, when you say, I am wealthy, does the bank account stay empty? Why, when you say, I am loved, do you still feel lonely? Because you are violating the law of assumption. You are saying the words, but you are not wearing the state. There is a difference between thinking of the end and thinking from the end. Let us enter the mechanics of the law.
Chapter 4: The Law of Assumption. The universe does not speak English. It speaks frequency. And the frequency of wanting is the frequency of lacking. When you say, I want to be rich, what are you really saying to the projector? You are saying, I am currently poor and I would like that to change. The projector hears the I am currently poor part because that is your assumption. That is your true belief about your current reality. so the projector gives you more poverty. This is why positive thinking often fails. You can paste a smile on your face and say affirmations all day long, but if, deep down in your gut, you assume you are a failure, the projector will broadcast failure. The mirror reflects the face, not the mask. Neville Goddard gave us the solution, the law of assumption. The law states, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. What does this mean? It means you must dare to assume that you already are the person you want to be. Not will be, not hope to be, are. This is a quantum leap. It requires you to be delusional by the standards of the world. The world asks for proof before it believes. Show me the money, then I will feel rich. Show me the ring, then I will feel loved. The law says, feel rich and the money must come. Feel loved and the ring must appear. Why? Because the 3D world is a laggy mirror. It takes time for the reflection to update, but the 4D consciousness is instant. In the realm of imagination, you can be wealthy now, you can be healthy now. And if you persist in that assumption, if you walk, talk, and breathe as if it were true, assumption hardens into fact. Let me give you a psychological example. Think of a great actor, let's say Daniel Day-Lewis. When he prepares for a role, he doesn't just memorize lines, he becomes the character. He assumes the limp, he assumes the accent, he assumes the memories of the character. He stops answering to his own name. For months, he lives in the state of the character. And when you watch him on screen, you don't see an actor acting, you see the character living. You must become the Daniel Day-Lewis of your own life. You want to be confident? Don't just try to be confident. Assume the state of confidence. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I were already the most confident person in the room? How would I walk? How would I breathe? What would my internal monologue be? Slip into that skin. Wear that energy. At first, it will feel fake. It will feel like a costume. Your shadow, the old self, will scream, "You are a liar. You are a fraud. Look at your bank account." This is the test. Do you believe the mirror, the past, or do you believe the assumption, the future? If you persist, if you refuse to take off the costume, something magical happens. The costume begins to fuse with your skin. The neurons in your brain rewire. Your reticular activating system, RAS, starts to filter reality differently. You stop seeing obstacles and start seeing opportunities. You stop radiating needy energy and start radiating owner energy. And the world, which is just a mirror, has no choice but to reflect the new image. People will start treating you differently. You've changed, they will say. You seem different. They are reacting to your new assumption. But here is the danger. Most people treat this like a technique they do for 10 minutes a day. They meditate on "I am rich" for 10 minutes and then spend the next 16 hours worrying about bills. They assume the state of wealth for a moment and then return to the state of poverty. You cannot just visit the new state. You must move in. You must occupy it. This leads us to the art of identity shifting. Chapter 5. Identity Shifting. To get what you have never had, you must become who you have never been. And to become who you have never been, you must kill who you are now. This is the part of the awakening that nobody talks about. Everyone wants the resurrection. Nobody wants the crucifixion. Everyone wants the new life. Nobody wants the funeral of the old life. But identity shifting is a death process. You cannot drag your old baggage into your new mansion. You cannot be the victim and the creator at the same time. They are two different frequencies. They cannot exist in the same space. Neville Goddard said, "You must die to your former state." What does that mean? It means you must stop telling the old story. Stop telling your friends how unlucky you are. Stop repeating the narrative of your trauma. Stop identifying with your illness, your poverty, or your loneliness. I know this sounds harsh. I know your pain feels real. I know your history is heavy. But as long as you keep rehearsing the old story, you are keeping the old I am alive. You are feeding the shadow. You must cultivate a selectively bad memory. Forget the failures, forget the insults, forget the evidence that you are small. Starve the old identity of attention, and then begin to inhabit the new identity. What is a state? Think of a state as a house. There are infinite states in the universe. There is a state of poverty house. It smells like fear, dust, and desperation. There is a state of wealth house. It smells like freedom, wood, and leather. There is a state of love house. It feels warm, safe, and open. You, the I am, the spirit, are the traveler. You can live in any house you choose, but you have lived in the state of limitation for so long that you think the house is you. You think the walls are your skin. You have forgotten that you can just walk out the door. Identity shifting is simply packing your bags and moving to a new address. You don't need to earn the new house. It is already there, waiting for you. In my Father's house are many mansions, John 14:2. Those mansions are states of consciousness. How do you move? By changing your inner conversations. Listen to your mind right now. What is it saying? Is it arguing with someone? Is it defending itself? Is it worrying? Those inner conversations are the furniture of your current house. To move to the new house, you must start thinking from that house. If you were already the version of you that is successful, what would you be thinking about? You wouldn't be worrying about rent. You would be thinking about investment. You wouldn't be jealous of others. You would be celebrating them. You wouldn't be begging for love. You would be sharing it. Start having those conversations now. Talk to yourself as if you are already him, as if you are already her. Walk down the street with the posture of the new you. Eat your dinner with the gratitude of the new you. Sleep in your bed with the peace of the new you. When you do this, you are glitching the matrix. The 3D world will look at you and say, "Wait, why is he acting like a king when he lives in a small apartment? Why is she so calm when everything is falling apart?" The mirror will be confused for a moment, but because you are persistent, because you refuse to lower your frequency, the mirror will crack, and then it will reform, and suddenly the apartment will change, the circumstances will change, the people will change to match the king, to match the queen. You are not faking it. You are prophesying. You are announcing to the quantum field, "This is who I am now," and the field has no choice but to say, "Amen." But there is a guardian at the gate of the new house. That guardian is your shadow, the repressed emotions, the doubts, the old patterns. They will try to pull you back into the old house. They will whisper, "Who do you think you are? You are a fraud. Come back to safety." How do we deal with the shadow without fighting it? How do we merge the wisdom of Jung with the power of Neville to dissolve the resistance? This is the alchemy.
This is the secret sauce that makes the shift permanent. In the next part, we will teach you how to face the shadow, not as an enemy, but as a servant waiting for new orders. Until then, I want you to choose your new house right now. Do not be modest. Do not be realistic. Who is the you that you are afraid to claim? I want you to write a new I am statement in the comments, but write it in the present tense. Not I will be wealthy, but I am wealthy. Not I want love, but I am loved. Write it now. I am your new state. Claim your mansion. We are moving in.
Chapter 6. Dissolving the Shadow. So, you have declared your new I am. You have moved into the new house. But now, there is a knock at the door. It is a heavy, aggressive knock. You open the door, and there it is. The doubt, the fear, the memory of your past failures, the voice that says, "Who do you think you are?" This is your shadow. In the teachings of Carl Jung, the shadow is not evil. The shadow is simply the part of you that has been rejected, unloved, and pushed into the dark. And, like a neglected child, it is screaming for attention. When you try to shift your identity, the shadow will attack. Why? Because the shadow wants to survive. The old I am, the victim, is the shadow's home. If you destroy the old I am, the shadow feels like it is dying. So it fights back. It floods you with anxiety. It creates purge symptoms, chaos in the 3D world. Most spiritual seekers fail here. They think, "Oh no, I'm doing it wrong. The negativity is back." Or they try to fight the shadow. They try to positive think it away. They shout affirmations to drown out the doubt. Stop. Fighting the shadow only feeds it. Remember, resistance is focus, and focus is energy. If you fight your anxiety, you are saying, "I am anxious and I hate it." The projector hears, "I am anxious." Result, more anxiety. So how do we dissolve the shadow? We use the alchemy of acceptance. We do not fight, we do not run, we observe. Neville Goddard said, "You are the operant power." Jung said, "What you accept transforms." Here is the protocol for when the shadow comes knocking. Acknowledge it. Don't pretend it's not there. Say, "I see you, fear. I see you, doubt." Disidentify. Realize that the shadow is just an actor. It is playing a role from an old script. It is not you. You are the observer of the shadow. Reassign the role. Instead of letting the shadow be the master, make it the servant. Talk to your shadow. Say, "Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for showing me what I no longer am. You can stay, but you cannot drive the car. I am driving now." This is the alchemical marriage. When you stop fighting the darkness, it loses its density. It becomes transparent. The energy that was trapped in the trauma is released and becomes free fuel for your creation. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Joseph Campbell. Your doubts are not obstacles. They are tests of your new authority. When a king is crowned, there will always be rebels at the gate testing his strength. The king does not scream at the rebels, he simply stands in his power, and eventually the rebels bow. Stand in your new I am. Let the doubts scream. Let the 3D world riot. You remain the observer, unmoved, unshaken, knowing that the shadow is just the echo of a shout you made yesterday, and echoes always fade. But why does the role of the observer have such power? Why does simply watching without reacting change reality? This is not just psychology. This is physics. Let us enter the quantum lab.
Chapter 7: The Observer Effect. For thousands of years, the mystics told us the world is an illusion. In the 20th century, quantum physics finally caught up, and they discovered something that shook the foundations of science: the observer effect. In the quantum world, matter does not exist in a solid state until it is observed. Before you look at it, an electron is not a thing. It is a wave of probability. It is a ghost. It is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It is pure potential. But the moment an observer looks at it, the wave collapses. It freezes into a single particle. It becomes a thing. It becomes reality. Do you understand what this means for you? You are the observer, and your life is the electron. Before you wake up in the morning, your day is a wave of probability. Anything can happen. Miracles can happen. Disasters can happen. But then you wake up and you activate your old observer. You look at your life through the lens of your memory. I am the person who hates this job. I am the person who is lonely. I am the person with the back pain. Bam! Wave collapse. You have just frozen the infinite potential of the day into the exact same particle as yesterday. You collapsed the wave into the shape of your past. This is why your life feels repetitive, not because the world is boring, but because your observation is boring. You are looking at the same things with the same assumptions and expecting a different result. Einstein called that insanity. But what if you changed the observer? What if instead of observing based on memory, past, you observed based on imagination, future? What if you looked at your empty bank account, but in your mind's eye, the true eye, you observed abundance? Science tells us that the subatomic particles must rearrange themselves to match the new measurement. The 3D reality is just a dense collection of atoms, and atoms are 99.9999% empty space. They are controlled by consciousness. When you shift into the new I am, you become a new observer. You are looking at the world through a new lens, and the world must change. It might take a week, a month, or a year for the heavy matter to move, but the energy shifts instantly. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you observe. But here is the trick. You cannot just observe with your mind, you must observe with your heart. The signal from the brain is electrical, the signal from the heart is magnetic, and the magnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the electrical field. To collapse the wave of your dream reality, you need more than just a thought. You need a feeling. But not the feeling you think. Most people get this wrong, and this is why they fail. Let us uncover the greatest secret of Neville Goddard,
the secret that separates the masters from the dreamers. Chapter 8. The feeling is the secret. Neville Goddard wrote a book called Feeling is the Secret. But this title has misled millions of people. When people hear feeling, they think of emotion. They think they need to be jumping up and down with excitement. They think they need to cry tears of joy every time they visualize. They try to force themselves into a state of high vibration, ecstasy. This is exhausting, and it is unnatural. You cannot maintain high-intensity ecstasy for 24 hours, and when you crash, you feel like a failure. Let me tell you the truth. The feeling Neville was talking about is not ecstasy. It is naturalness. It is relief. It is the feeling of course. Think about something you already own. Your shoes, for example. Do you jump up and down with excitement every time you put on your shoes? Do you cry tears of joy that you have shoes? No, you just wear them. It feels natural. It feels normal. It feels like it is done. If you are trying to manifest money and you are hyper excited about it, you are actually vibrating, I don't have it yet. Because if you had millions in the bank for 10 years, you wouldn't be hyper excited. You would just be comfortable. You would be secure. Naturalness is the signature of possession. So the feeling you are looking for is the feeling of relief. It is the deep exhale of the soul that says, thank God, it's over. I have it. I don't need to look for it anymore. It is the Sabbath, the day of rest. When you enter the I am state of your desire, you should feel a sense of calm. The anxiety disappears. The seeking disappears. Why? Because you found it. You don't search for your keys when they are in your pocket. You don't search for your dream when you are the dream. This is the acid test of your manifestation. If you are still anxious, you haven't shifted. If you are still trying to make it happen, you haven't shifted. If you feel bored in a good way, if you feel like, yeah, that's just who I am, then you have shifted. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled means assuming the normalcy of the wish fulfilled. Make your dream feel normal. Make your success feel ordinary. Make your miracle feel like your daily bread. Because God is not a fireworks show. God is the silence between the beats. God is the steady ground beneath your feet. When you can say, I am wealthy, with the same calmness that you say, I am breathing, then the mountain will move, not with a bang, but with a whisper. So stop trying to hype yourself up. Stop trying to generate fake emotions. Just relax into the knowing. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Be still, not be excited. Be still. Now, we have the theory. We have the machine, I am. We have the method, observer. We have the fuel, natural feeling. It is time to put it all together. It is time to practice. In the final part of this transmission, I am going to guide you through the I am meditation. This is the practical application. This is how you step into the void, leave the old man behind, and walk out as the new man. And we will prepare you for the inevitable battle that comes after the meditation, the battle with the 3D delay. I want you to test the feeling right now. Close your eyes. Imagine your desire is fully done. It happened 5 years ago. Take a deep breath. Does it feel exciting, or does it feel like peace? If you feel the peace, you are there. Write in the comments, it is finished. Seal the vibration. Let us enter the silence. Chapter 9. the I Am meditation. Now we move from understanding to experiencing. Knowledge is the map. Experience is the territory. You cannot know I Am by reading about it. You must be it. I invite you now to participate in the sacred practice of the I Am meditation. This is the same method used by the mystics of old to detach from the illusion and reconnect with the Creator. Do not just listen, do this with me. Sit comfortably or lie down. Close your eyes. Disconnect from the world of the mirror. Forget your name. Forget your face. Forget your bank account. Forget your problems. They do not exist here. Here, there is only awareness. Step 1, the withdrawal. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine you are unplugging your senses from the outside world. You are no longer a body. You are no longer a person. You are a point of consciousness floating in a vast, infinite black void. There is no up, no down, no past, no future, just the eternal now. Step 2, the unconditioned state. In this silence, do not try to create anything yet. First, we must find the raw material. Repeat silently in your mind or whisper softly, I am. Just I am, nothing else. Do not say, I am a man. Do not say, I am tired. Just I am. Feel the power of those words. Feel the faceless, formless presence of your own being. This is you without the mask. This is you before the world told you who to be. This is the God state, pure potential. Float in this state for a moment. Feel the relief of having no identity. You are free. Step 3, the new conception. Now, while you are floating in this liquid light of pure potential, bring up the new identity, the version of you that already has what you desire. Do not look at him, step into him. Do not look at her, step into her. Slip your consciousness into that body. See through those eyes. If you are wealthy, how does the fabric of your clothes feel? If you are loved, how does the beat of your heart feel? If you are healthy, how does the energy in your veins feel? Step 4, the fusion. Now fuse the I am with the new state. Say to yourself, with the authority of the Creator, I am your desire. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am loved. But remember the secret. Feel the naturalness. Don't scream it, whisper it. Feel the of course. Feel the reality of it so deeply that the 3D world fades away. In this moment, in this imagination, it is real. It is the only reality. The outer world is the dream. This is the truth. Stay here. Soak in this feeling. Marinate your soul in the frequency of the wish fulfilled. Let it saturate every cell of your body. Let it rewrite your DNA. You are no longer the person who sat down to meditate. You are the new man. You are the new woman. Step 5, the Sabbath. Now take a deep breath, and as you exhale, say, thank you. It is done. Feel the relief. You don't need to ask anymore. You have received. The seed is planted. The projector is loaded with the new film. Slowly, gently come back to the room. Open your eyes. Look around you. The room looks the same. The furniture looks the same. But you are different. You have changed the observer, and therefore you have changed the universe. But now comes the danger. You have planted the seed, but now you must walk out into the garden where the weeds are still growing. How do you maintain this high state when the low vibration world hits you in the face? How do you live as the king when you are still walking in the pauper's shoes? This is the final test. This is the art of living in the end.
Chapter 10. Living as the New Self. You have opened your eyes, and here is the trap. Your bank account still says $10. Your partner is still not here. Your body still hurts. The mirror has not updated yet. Because the 3D world has lag time. It is dense, it is heavy. It takes time for the atoms to rearrange. Science calls this hysteresis, the delay between the cause and the effect. The cause, your I am, has changed. The effect, reality, is catching up. But here is where 99% of people fail. They look at the lag and they say, it didn't work. They look at the mirror and say, I'm still ugly, I'm still poor. And in that moment of doubt, they abort the pregnancy. They dig up the seed to see if it's growing, and they kill it. You must be smarter than that. You must understand the bridge of incidents. Neville Goddard taught that between your assumption and its fulfillment, there is a bridge, a series of events that will lead you to your goal. Sometimes this bridge looks messy. Sometimes you might lose your job so you can start the business. Sometimes a relationship might end to make space for the soulmate. If you judge the bridge by the appearance of the moment, you will panic. You will react. You will fall back into the old identity. How to live as the new self. 1. Ignore the 3D lag. Treat the current reality like an echo. When you shout in a canyon, the echo comes back a few seconds later. Your current life is the echo of your past shouts, past thoughts. It is old news. It is a dead star. The light of a dead star still reaches Earth, but the star is gone. Your problems are dead stars. Don't worship them. Don't fear them. Just let them fade out. 2. React differently. The test of your shift is your reaction. When the bill comes, do you panic, old self, or do you stay calm knowing it is handled, new self? When the text doesn't come, do you spiral, old self, or do you smile knowing you are loved, new self? Your reaction is your confirmation. If you react like a victim, you are still a victim. If you react like a creator, you are a creator. 3. The inner monologue. Keep the conversation going. Throughout the day, remind yourself, I remember who I am. I am not this situation. I am the observer of this situation. This is just a scene in the movie. I have already written the happy ending. 4. Occupy the state. Carry the feeling of the wish fulfilled like a secret fragrance. No one else can smell it, but you know it's there. It gives you a secret smile, a hidden confidence. You are walking through the world, but you are not of the world. You are walking in the 4D reality, while your body is in the 3D reality. This is what the Bible meant by walking by faith, not by sight.
Sight is the mirror, 3D. Faith is the projector, 4D. If you walk by sight, you will walk in circles. If you walk by faith, you will walk straight to the throne. The shadow will try to trick you. It will say, "Look, nothing changed." You must reply, "I have changed, and that is enough." Because once the internal change is permanent, the external change is inevitable. It is law. It cannot fail. The only way it fails is if you give up. If you take off the costume before the curtain rises. Don't take it off. Wear it until it becomes your skin. Wear it until the mirror cracks and reforms around you. You are the projector. The world is just the screen. Never worship the screen. Worship the light within.
The bridge to the Creator. You have learned the secret of the mirror. You have learned the name of the projector. I am. You have embraced the shadow and planted the seed of the new self. But I know what your logical mind is asking. This sounds beautiful, but how does it actually work? How does a thought in my head move a mountain in the physical world? What is the mechanism? Your mind craves the blueprint. It craves the science, and you deserve to know it. Because when you understand the physics behind the magic, your doubt disappears forever. When you understand quantum mechanics, when you understand how the observer effect literally collapses atoms into reality, you stop hoping, you start knowing. You are not just a psychologist of your own mind. You are a quantum engineer of your reality. In the next transmission, we are going to leave the psychologist's couch and enter the quantum laboratory. We are going to give you the chosen one's blueprint. We are going to explain exactly how to move from being a passive observer, the victim of the mirror, to an active creator, the master of the atom. We will show you how to use mental diet not as a punishment, but as a quantum selection tool. We will show you how to collapse the wave of your dream life with mathematical precision. But you cannot be an engineer if you don't know who you are. That is why you needed this video first. You needed to find the I am. Now that you have found it, are you ready to use it? Are you ready to wield the power of creation? The mirror waits for your command. Don't let it wait too long. If you are ready to graduate from watcher to creator, declare it one last time. Seal this identity shift. Write in the comments, "I am the creator," and then go live it. Don't check the mirror to see if it changed. Know that it changed because you changed. The projection has begun. Welcome to your new life.